2 weeks after our dream wedding, my world with Zoe crumbled. How could a perfect marriage unravel so fast? Betrayed by her ex, Xander, and blindsided by secrets, I faced a choice that changed everything. What did I say at the Seattle airport that left her speechless and in tears? Stick around. This story will shock you. Welcome to Addy Story, where we share real-life stories that touch the heart and inspire the soul. Subscribe now to join our community, relax, and dive into the stories we have for you. Enjoy. My wife betrayed me with her ex just 2 weeks after we said, "I do," and now she wants to return. My words at the airport shattered her, leaving her in tears and utterly speechless. At 31, I married Zoe, 29, and in just 2 weeks, our world shattered. 14 days. Wedding gifts lay untouched in the living room as she detonated our world. This is my life? I can't wrap my head around it. As a structural engineer, I shaped the skyline, crafting skyscrapers and monumental commercial projects. For 8 years, I've poured my heart into this job. I love it, even when the hours spiral out of control. Zoe was a wildlife veterinarian, or is she still? I can't tell anymore. That's how our paths crossed, a story that still makes me smile. An injured hawk appeared at my construction site in Seattle, prompting my site manager to call the local wildlife center. Zoe arrived in muddy boots and disheveled hair, a stark contrast to the hard hat-clad men around her. Yet the way she commanded that hawk was extraordinary. Her confidence radiated, a gentle force that commanded attention, as if she held the world in her hands. Our conversation sparked as she tended to the hawk, revealing she was new to the city. I proposed to take her on a tour of Seattle, feeling confident, and to my surprise, she agreed. What began as dinner spiraled into countless dates, and suddenly, 3 years had flown by. It all felt flawless, didn't it? We bickered over trivial things, whose turn for laundry, my late nights, but it was nothing serious. She stood by my relentless work hours while I tackled massive projects, and I backed her mission to rescue every wounded animal within 50 miles. Our apartment often feels like a tiny animal hospital. Once, a 3-legged raccoon took refuge in our guest bathroom for a week, but that's a tale for another time. We dreamed of the same future: kids, a suburban home, dogs, and her thriving career. We bonded over the smallest details, sharing a mutual disdain for cilantro and an obsession with true crime documentaries. In hindsight, perhaps perfection was the problem all along. The wedding was everything she dreamed of: a lavish vineyard ceremony in Napa Valley that drained my wallet completely. A year of saving, but her joy made every moment worthwhile. Her dad, a fierce ex-military figure adorned with tattoos, broke down in tears as he walked her down the aisle. I never imagined that guy would break down. Yet there he stood, tears streaming down his face. My college buddies arrived, including my best friend Xavier, who's been buried in a massive project in Houston for 2 long years. I ignored his warnings about Zoe's red flags, dismissing him like a fool. I should have listened to him. But love, it blinds us, doesn't it? Such foolishness. The ceremony was stunning, I suppose. Zoe poured her heart into every detail: flowers, music, the special wine from that vineyard we cherished on vacation. She hired a calligrapher for the place cards, spending a small fortune. My mom kept saying it was the most beautiful wedding she'd ever seen. But now, I can't help but question if she was just being kind. The reception erupted with energy, the band igniting a fire that had everyone on their feet until dawn. Zoe's Australian cousins arrived, unleashing a wild drinking game that left half the wedding party nursing hangovers the next day. In that moment, as I gazed at Zoe during our first dance, a rush of gratitude surged through me. This was it, the beginning of our beautiful journey together. The honeymoon was in Miami. 6 months of overtime, every penny saved, all for Zoe's dream. We returned home, and for 14 fleeting days, everything felt perfect. We were lost in that blissful moment, calling each other husband and wife, wearing our rings as if they held the universe's weight. Zoe had been considering starting a family next year, but then everything fell apart. 2 weeks after returning from Miami, Zoe began to act strangely. So strangely that it felt like I was dealing with a different person entirely. In hindsight, I see the countless red flags I brushed aside, a fool in my own denial. Her eyes were glued to the screen, a world away. Before the wedding, she scolded me for checking work emails at dinner. Now, she hides her phone under the table, texting furiously. As I entered the room, she hurriedly turned her phone face down or changed the app. I was a fool, believing she was orchestrating a surprise for me. Then she began to linger at the wildlife center, night after night. She had faced late nights before, battling through emergency cases. This time felt unique. She claimed an injured eagle needed overnight care, but her story began to unravel. One night, she claimed she had to stay late for an injured fox, but I saw on the center's Instagram that they had released it that very morning. Yet I couldn't shake the truth that was unfolding before me. Work consumed me completely. A massive project loomed, a 50-story building in downtown Portland, fraught with daunting structural challenges. The most painful part? It was for Xander's life. They were expanding the trauma center, and my firm secured the contract. That's likely how Willow sensed his return. One night, while visiting with Zoe, she caught a glimpse of the project plans at our place. Then her best friend, Willow, 33, began appearing at our home with increasing frequency. Willow's story is one of heart and turmoil. This woman, twice divorced before hitting 31, cycles through boyfriends monthly, thriving on chaos. Her Instagram bio screams, "You can't handle me at my worst." Need I say more? Zoe and her bonded deeply at work. Willow, the receptionist at the wildlife center, always rubbed me the wrong way. Yet I stayed silent. She haunted my thoughts, an unsettling presence I couldn't quite define until much later. Wyatt revealed that she had attempted to get my number when I first arrived at the wildlife center for the hawk. She had shown interest, but my heart was already set on Zoe. I should have seen her bitterness earlier, but I kept it from Zoe. Whispers and giggles filled the kitchen, but silence fell the moment I entered. Willow's words echoed in my mind. "You deserve happiness. Feelings are beyond your control." I fought to push them away. In hindsight, Willow was a constant source of venom in Zoe's life. The morning everything shattered is etched in my mind. In my home office, I pored over the intricate foundation plans, the clock ticking since 5 a.m. Each moment, a battle against confusion. Zoe stumbles in, eyes heavy with sleeplessness, pajamas clinging to her as if time has forgotten her. She collapses onto the couch in my office, tears streaming down her face, the kind of sobbing that twists words into a jumbled mess. I sense a death has occurred. Willow had lured her into a meeting with Xander, her ex, just days before. They had been texting for weeks, hidden beneath the surface. Xander was unforgettable. He was her college sweetheart, the love of her life for 4 years, until he vanished into the heart of Africa with Doctors Without Borders. He's returned, a hotshot trauma surgeon at the local hospital in Portland. This work revealed to Zoe that he regretted leaving her and still harbored deep feelings for her. Rather than sending him away like any typical spouse, Zoe stands there, tears streaming, overwhelmed by confusion and desperate to find clarity. She sat there, eyes intense, revealing how Willow had opened her eyes to feelings she hadn't faced. She said she owed it to herself to uncover if her heart still belonged to Xander before she could truly commit to our marriage. I'm sitting there, thinking, we're already bound together. We still haven't sent out the thank you cards from our wedding. Do you want to hear the darkest twist? She masked her doubts as concern, insisting, I need to be sure about us to avoid a divorce in 5 years when we have kids. I sat frozen, eyes locked on her, my mouth agape, feeling utterly foolish. In hindsight, Willow's scheme was painfully clear. She unwittingly revealed to Zoe that Xander had returned, now working at the hospital. She began to weave him into her conversations, highlighting Zoe's social media updates about his return from Africa. Timeless deceit. Zoe was utterly deceived. This is where it truly matters. Rather than pleading for her to remain, shedding tears, or vowing to change, I simply erupted in laughter. Not joyful laughter, but the kind that escapes when everything is so twisted, it borders on absurdity. Her gaze pierces through me, as if she sees the chaos within. Perhaps I truly was. In that moment, I took an action that left me utterly astonished. I flipped open my laptop, searched for the top divorce lawyers in Seattle, and began dialing, all while she watched. Zoe panicked, shouting, "What are you doing?" I asked for time to reflect, not to end everything. I stared into her eyes and said, "No, you need to leave my house." Now it wasn't my finest hour, just 2 hours of sleep, and everything was falling apart around me. Her tears flow fiercely as she cries out, claiming I'm being unjust, that I can't grasp the depth of her struggle. She drops the bomb. Xander was my first love. I have to know if there's still a spark. I'll forever question the possibilities if I don't take this leap. That's when everything shattered. I said to her, "You know what's simple? Promises of forever. You either loved them or you didn't, and it's obvious you didn't." She flipped it on me, accusing me of being controlling and unsupportive for not allowing her to sort through her feelings. Willow had whispered that a man who truly loved her would know to step back, allowing her the space to find her way. Willow, really? I opened our wedding video on my phone, scrolling through countless honeymoon photos until I found it, forcing her to relive the moment she vowed to forsake all others. I questioned her, "Were you lying then, or are you lying now?" Silence enveloped her after that. She suggested a new path, proposing couples counseling, a chance to face this together. I confided in her that my sole focus was on securing a competent lawyer. Then she unleashed a truth that revealed her true nature. She says Xander's just finished a grueling 36-hour shift at the hospital. He offered me a place to stay as we navigate this chaos together. Her car was ready, bags packed, the air thick with anticipation. She had been plotting for days, shifting her things to his place while I poured my heart into this massive project. She was mapping out her escape with her ex. All right. I wish I could claim I stayed calm, but I didn't. I began sorting through our wedding gifts, most untouched, creating 2 piles, one for her, one for what she won't have. Real mature, right? I called Xavier in Houston. He was on the first flight home. Genuine brotherhood. Zoe insisted I was overreacting by bringing him into this. I reminded her that she brought her ex and toxic best friend into our marriage, so perhaps she should step back this time. Hours slipped away in a haze. Zoe oscillated between tears, desperate explanations, and bursts of anger at my lack of understanding. What do you mean by understanding, precisely? My wife is preparing to betray me with her ex and seeks my approval? Throughout it all, she whispered, I still love you. This doesn't mean I don't care. And my favorite, you'll always be special to me. It felt like a high school breakup, yet it was her husband of just 2 weeks. I laid it all out for her. Sever ties with Xander now, and we might salvage this, or walk away for good. No turning back. She asked, why must it be so starkly divided? In that moment, I realized it was finished. I ordered her to leave, never to return. She reached for me, desperate for a hug, but I turned my back and walked away. Her car's departure echoes in my mind, haunting me. I saw her drive away from our dream house, likely on her way to Xander's, with our wedding cards untouched on the kitchen counter. That night, I drowned my sorrows with Xavier on the back patio, lost in the haze of too much alcohol, his arrival marking a turning point. I erased every trace of social media. Her face was too much to bear. I called in sick for the first time in 3 years. Hungover, I sit on the couch with Xavier, reeling from Zoe's departure. Suddenly, there's a relentless pounding on the front door, like a cop demanding entry. I thought Zoe returned for her things, but it's her dad, Walter, instead. Walter's story is one of heart and struggle. A towering figure, 6 feet 4 inches, inked with military tattoos, exuding raw power. He could break me with a single move. Once a Marine, now a titan in the security world. He'd always been chill, but his presence on my doorstep that morning sent a chill down my spine. I opened the door, bracing for a punch. I wouldn't have blamed him. His daughter must have spun some wild tale about me being a jerk. This imposing figure simply stares at me and declares my daughter a fool. Is there coffee available? Zoe called her mom, tears streaming down her face, claiming I was heartless for not backing her desire to explore things with Xander. Her mom got it, their bond unbreakable. Yet Walter stood firm against it all. In my kitchen, the 3 of us huddle, Xavier, Walter, and I, sipping coffee mixed with Jack Daniels. Walter reveals his disdain for Xander from college, claiming there was always something unsettling about him. Then he reveals the truth. Xander had cheated on Zoe long ago, before the Doctors Without Borders chapter. Zoe was oblivious. Walter learned from her friend, but they chose silence, fearing her fragile heart couldn't bear the truth. Here I am, alone, grappling with the truth. My wife chose a man who betrayed her long before, and she remains blissfully unaware. Unbelievable. Walter was the one who suggested my divorce lawyer. He had relied on the same man for a business conflict. I declined his offer for his security team to speak with Xander, laughing, yet so tempting. The following days spiraled into chaos as I faced the daunting task of calling my boss to explain my need for time off from the skyscraper project. The guy was incredibly understanding. His first wife had faced something similar. He offered me 2 weeks of paid leave, assuring me the project would wait for my return. Confronting our shared belongings was the hardest blow. Our house was a chaotic celebration. Gifts piled high, cards scattered, memories captured in every corner. Stumbling upon our marriage certificate in the mail shattered me completely. Wyatt, Zoe's little brother and a junior engineer at my firm, stopped by to collect her things. The kid was trapped, lost in the chaos. He said Zoe was at Xander's, transformed, sharing strange quotes on Instagram about following your heart and discovering your true path. Family ties unraveled in an instant, chaos erupting like a storm. Zoe's mom stood firmly by her side, insisting that space was essential for growth and that marriage demanded understanding and patience. Walter and Wyatt stood with me, igniting fierce battles at their home. Willow unleashed her words at the Wildlife Center, claiming Zoe abandoned me for my emotional distance and relentless work. Zoe's coworkers, whom I believed were friends, began unfollowing me on social media. So mature. But then, karma stepped in. Do you recall that massive project I was tackling? Xander's Hospital was one of our clients. What a twist. I called my boss, urgency lacing my words as I laid bare the situation. He swiftly demanded a new project manager to step in, unable to bear the tension any longer. Xander erupted in anger upon discovering the delays caused by the switch. The finances were a waking horror. We had just merged our lives, our bank accounts, after saying, "I do." I had to halt everything and begin unraveling our finances. Thank goodness we hadn't committed to a house. We were still gathering our savings for that down payment. The sole treasure we possessed was my condo, purchased long before she entered my life. Zoe called me repeatedly, leaving long emotional voicemails about her lingering care and hopes for friendship. Sure, I'll get right on that. Right after I finished burning our wedding photos, her dad filled me in on everything unfolding over there. Zoe and Xander paraded their love, dining in elegance, sharing sweet snapshots, all while the wreckage of her marriage lay in the shadows, forgotten. The most painful moment? I discovered they had been texting before our wedding. By chance, Wyatt stumbled upon it. As he assisted Zoe with her new work iPad, old messages flooded in from the family cloud, stirring memories long buried. He discovered Xander's messages, stretching back months, including some from just days before our wedding. It was my brother-in-law who broke the news to me. That was the moment I chose to release everything and prioritize my own well-being. I plunged into work with fervor. Do you recall the skyscraper project I was immersed in? All those late nights at the office while Zoe wrestled with her feelings? They finally meant something. My design cut the client's foundation costs by millions. My boss was blown away. He rushed my promotion to senior project lead. Meanwhile, Zoe's entire quest for self-discovery began to unravel. Wyatt, her brother, kept me informed. Our bond remained strong through work. Living with Xander shattered her romantic illusions. He's a relentless workaholic, a twist considering her gripes about my hours. His dirty scrubs litter the place, yet he still behaves like a college frat boy with his doctor pals. Zara from the Wildlife Center finally revealed the truth. Willow had been double-crossing everyone all along. She claimed Xander was her true love, all the while probing for details about him. All along, she was urging Zoe to abandon me, secretly plotting to pursue Xander for herself. A true masterpiece of chaos. She craved for Zoe to experience the agony that consumed her when I chose Zoe over her. Zoe glimpsed them sharing lunch, each moment a dagger to her heart. When she faced Willow, that snake had the audacity to say, "You were married when you started talking to Xander, so what's the difference?" I'm doubled over in laughter. This karma is perfection. Then everything changed. Zara, a senior vet at the wildlife center, contacted me. She had guided Zoe in the beginning, and now the betrayal left her sickened. Zara witnessed the countless hours I sacrificed for the wedding, and the sting of Zoe's words about me being controlling and overworked cut deep. Zara was my lifeline at the center. She sent me a screenshot of Zoe, tears streaming down her face in the break room. Heartbroken because Xander had forgotten their 1-month anniversary. You left your husband for him, and now you're sobbing over a 1-month anniversary? Just make it clear. Everything changed the moment Wyatt said I had to listen. He caught a glimpse of Zoe at their parents' house while grabbing his things. He remarked how she seemed like a stranger, draped in designer clothes, yet her eyes held a weariness, a deep sadness. When she reached out for a hug, I recoiled, instead inquiring about her journey of self-discovery. She broke down, tears streaming, confessing how much she missed me, our life together, and how Xander was nothing like she believed. Guess what I did? I laughed. It was so funny. I told her I had a meeting, but I didn't. I just walked away. The old me would have reached out, perhaps even thought about returning to her side. The new me downed a protein shake and shattered my deadlift record that night. A headhunter called me about a huge project in Denver. They sought my expertise for their eco-friendly skyscraper project, a 2-year contract, 7 figures, and a full relocation package awaited me. I seized it in an instant. Word spread fast, and soon Zoe was at my office. She was frantic, pleading for me to stay, lost in her emotions, questioning if she had erred. I glanced at her and replied, "That's your problem," then returned to my blueprints. Her expression was unforgettable. Xander's coworker caught a glimpse of Zoe's tears in my office and shared the moment with him. Xander, in his fragile state, erupted, bombarding Zoe's phone with frantic messages, desperate to understand why she was engaging with me. Funny how this is the same guy who had no issue texting my wife before we even tied the knot. But yeah, keep talking. This is the moment everything changes. As Xander spirals over Zoe's words, who's relentlessly texting him? Absolutely, Willow. It became clear they were sharing secret lunches, sneaking away to his office while Zoe was oblivious at work. How can I be certain of this? Zane, the project manager who took over the hospital contract after my departure, witnessed them together at every site meeting. He was a decent guy, but I saw the photos, intimate moments disguised as professional consultations. The betrayal stung deep. The girl who shattered Zoe's world was now pursuing her new love. This is beyond belief. Zoe discovered the truth at the lavish dinner she had organized for Xander's birthday. She devoted a week to it, cooking his favorite meal, something she never did for me, and splurging on an expensive watch. In the midst of dinner, Willow sends a drunken text to Xander, confessing her longing for their lunch meetings and anxiously hoping Zoe won't discover his second phone. Another phone? This guy had an entire second phone just for texting Willow. So classy. Zoe snapped, bursting out of their apartment at 11 p.m. She reached for her mom, but the call went unanswered. Her mom was lost at sea on a cruise. She reached out to her dad, but his words cut deep. "You made your bed, now lie in it." She reached out to her brother Wyatt, but he was stuck at the office, grinding away on my team. Just got that promotion last week. Can you believe who she reached out to? At midnight, tears streamed down my face as I realized Xander was just like all the others. I made a grave mistake. I should never have walked away. I ignored the call, but my lawyer got the message right away. Chaos erupted at the Wildlife Center the following day. Zoe arrived at work, only to see Willow pretending everything was normal. A fierce, explosive argument erupted in the break room. Zara, in a moment of clarity, captured it all on her phone. She sent it immediately, aware it was crucial for the divorce. The highlight? Amidst the chaos, Xander bursts in, desperate to clarify. He insists he and Willow were merely friends, claiming Zoe's reaction is an overreaction. Willow, the ultimate betrayer, locks eyes with Zoe and coldly declares, "At least I waited until he was single, unlike some people." Security had to be called to the Wildlife Center. Zoe and Willow faced the consequences while Xander was led away. It was a stunning whirlwind. The universe whispered secrets meant only for me. Wyatt shared family news. Walter relayed updates from the parents. Zane reported on the hospital project, and Zara informed me about the Wildlife Center. Zoe's chaos was on full display, and no one would grant her a chance to change the narrative. In the office, I'm wrapping up the Denver contract, preparing to escape this chaos. The company's even flying Xavier out to join me, promoting him to senior engineer. He's a genius when he's not stuck babysitting my drunken self. Zoe reached out, pouring her heart into a lengthy email, finally grasping the weight of what she lost. She confessed that abandoning me was her greatest error, that Xander was merely a dream, and the truth crashed down on her. What do I say? Interesting tale. From now on, please reach out to my lawyer for any further communication. Desperation led her to reach out to her family. Her mom returned from the cruise, unexpected and fervent, preaching about youthful mistakes and the worth of second chances in true love. Walter discovered the truth and was furious. He took Zoe away, but not before promising to visit Denver once I'm settled. Myth. Wyatt told me Zoe's back with her parents. Xander's already seeing a nurse from pediatrics. Willow was finally let go from the Wildlife Center for her toxic behavior. It was overdue. Last Friday, my firm held a massive farewell party for me. They booked an upscale rooftop bar in downtown Seattle, inviting nearly everyone from the company along with a few clients. Wyatt, Zoe's brother, collaborated with me to orchestrate it. He kept it from his family for reasons that were painfully clear. Somehow, Zoe discovered the truth. Willow must have spilled it, still connected to one of our receptionists. The party started off with a spark. My work friends gathered, and even a few college buddies appeared. Excitement surged through me. My Denver visa was approved that morning. My new home was ready, and I was in peak shape, all thanks to the gym sessions that followed my breakup. Then, at 10 p.m., who walks in? Zoe. Hold on. It only gets more intense. She walks in wearing that dress, the one from our first date, the moment my heart surrendered to her completely. After all these years, she felt the time had come to reveal it once more. She orchestrated her grand entrance, timing it perfectly with the speeches, convinced it would unfold like a scene from a romantic film. Security halted her at the door, her name absent from the list. I barely registered it at first, lost in conversation with an incredible architect from the Denver firm. Wyatt rushes over breathless. "Dude, Zoe's here. It's chaos." I step into the lobby and see Zoe, tears streaming down her face, pleading with security to let her in. She locks eyes with me, her voice trembling as she spills her heart. "A terrible mistake," she says. Xander was nothing. Desperation fills her words. She wants to escape to Denver with me. Keep in mind, this unfolds before half my Keo workers. all witnesses to the unfolding drama. Zoe's mascara streaks down her cheeks, a testament to her tears. The alcohol has taken its toll, and the dress hangs awkwardly on her, a reminder of the weight she's shed from the burden of her choices. Then she drops the bomb. She bought a ticket to Denver, a real plane ticket for next week. She had this entire plan to show up at my new place and win me back. She saw romance. I saw obsession. I gazed at her, my voice steady. You need help. Professional help. I stepped back inside, ready to revel in the festivities. But Zoe had other plans. She lunged to follow, but security caught her. Her screams pierced the air, accusing me of never loving her. If I truly did, I would forgive her one mistake. Then Xavier arrived. He gazes at her, whispering, "One mistake?" So, like reaching out to your ex right before the wedding or moving in with him just 2 weeks later? Those blunders? Zoe falls silent, tears streaming down her face, a depth of sorrow she never knew existed. She cries out, lost in confusion and fear, revealing how Xander twisted her emotions. This is where it gets thrilling. As this unfolds, who should appear by the building? Xander, now entangled with a pediatric nurse. He spots Zoe, unraveling in her worn dress, discomfort radiating from her. He walks past, eyes averted, silence heavy between them. Zoe's expression upon seeing them together was heart-wrenching. I couldn't help but feel a pang of sympathy. Security finally persuaded her to go, but not before she attempted to give me the letter she had penned. I didn't take it. She dropped it, and Xavier grabbed it once she was gone. Later that night, in a haze of alcohol, we discovered it. Pages filled with her twisted narrative, reshaping our entire relationship to cast herself as the victim. The party truly transformed once she was gone. Drinks flowed, voices echoed. You dodged a bullet, they said, but the weight lingered. In Denver, the architect, let's name her Sophia for a twist, handed me her number, promising to guide me when I arrive. Later, I discovered Zoe had gone to Xander's after the party ended. The nurse opened the door. It clearly went horribly wrong. Last I heard, Zoe's in therapy now. Good for her, I guess. But is it too little, too late? Just days ago, I prepared to leave for the airport. Everything was packed. I said goodbye to my parents, prepped my place for the renters, and felt a surge of hope. Then Zoe made her last move. At dawn, I boarded a flight to Denver with a layover in Chicago, where Xavier awaits. My parents and Wyatt were set to take me to the airport, a straightforward plan, or so it seemed. Zoe had other plans. I arrived at the airport around 4 a.m., and there she was, waiting at the check-in counter. Zoe stands, burdened by her luggage. This girl truly believed she could create a romantic comedy moment at the airport. She bought a ticket to Chicago, not Denver, just Chicago, because that's all she could afford. Was she planning to convince me to take her back mid-flight? Follow me to Denver? I'm still lost on her intentions. The highlight? She brought her dad, Walter, believing he'd sway me, but the absolute legend he is, he was there to protect me from her. He learned of her scheme from Wyatt and was ready to haul her back, no matter what. Zoe locks eyes with me, launching into a heartfelt plea about love being worth the struggle, insisting she won't let me slip away without one final fight. Walter stands behind her, his gaze heavy with disdain, as if he wishes she were never his. He can't be faulted. She opens the photo album, revealing snapshots of our love, our wedding, every moment etched in time. Days of effort poured into this creation. She believed that showing me old photos could sway my heart, as if I could overlook the wreckage of our marriage. I circled her, my heart racing with concern. She breaks down, vowing to prove her love by chasing me all the way to Denver. In that moment, Walter intervened, seizing her suitcase. "The only place you're going is home," he said, his voice sharp. "You're embarrassing yourself and me." Zoe fell silent in an instant. Guess who's at the airport while all this unfolds? Sophia, the architect from Denver, sat beside me on the flight, fresh from the intense project handover. She approaches, envelops me in a warm embrace, and asks if I'm prepared for our dinner in Denver later this week. Zoe's expression spoke volumes. Invaluable. Her mind seemed to short-circuit, struggling to grasp that I was truly moving on. She bursts into a strange laugh cry, asking, "You're already dating?" I believed our connection was unique. I reached my breaking point and spoke the truth I'd held inside for too long. What we shared was unique, yet you exchanged it for a fleeting dream with someone who's already forgotten you. That's your burden to bear, not mine. Walter pulled her from the airport, each step heavy with unspoken words. Her cries echoed in my mind, a haunting reminder of my supposed cruelty as I moved on. That statement is pure irony. Stunning. The flight was breathtaking. I was upgraded to first class, shared drinks with Sophia, and delved into architecture and life. We share so much more than I ever realized. She's a force of nature, fiercely ambitious, and undeniably available. Tomorrow, we dine. I just touched down in Denver a few hours back. My new place is breathtaking, city views that stretch endlessly, a private pool just for me. Walter just texted, "Zoe's finally ready to commit to therapy." She returned home, left her job at the wildlife center behind, the drama with Willow too heavy to bear, and now she's focused on healing. Good for her, I suppose. Xander, the last I heard, is engaged to the nurse. 2 months have passed, but I'm sure it'll turn out just fine. Willow lost her job at the wildlife center and now finds herself at a dubious private zoo. Karma has a way of surprising you. Gazing at the Denver skyline, a rush of contentment washes over me. Tomorrow, I dive into the most significant project of my life. Next weekend, I'll be with a stunning architect, my best friend and Zoe's brother, who feels more like my brother now, will be here soon. Often, the darkest moments guide you to the brightest destinations. Thank you all for standing by through this wild journey. A heartfelt thanks to those who urge me to hit the gym and prioritize my own journey. You were right all along. Zoe, if you're out there, I know you still peek at my Reddit, even with this throwaway. I truly wish you clarity, but I won't be here to witness it. Thanks for watching this story on Addy Story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new tale. Stay tuned for more, and until next time, take care and keep living your own amazing stories.